Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to DCS World 1.5 and Leatherneck Sim's MiG-21 BIS module. Today I thought it'd be a bit of fun to take a look at the RSBN navigation in the MiG-21. Now this is a system of radio navigation very similar to the VOR or TACAN systems that you'll find in some other aircraft, VOR being quite commonly used in civilian aircraft. The concept being that it's a radio beacon which transmits two signals, one of which is used to provide distance measuring, and the other one is a signal which rotates through 360 degrees. So what you end up with is what's called radials. You have basically 360 discrete signals that this system will emit, and you can tune a selected course or radial, and your navigational system will give you directions as to how to fly either towards that station on that radial or away from it on a set radial. So we're going to use this to do a little bit of navigation, because of course the MiG-21 doesn't have inertial navigation or GPS, having being the case that it was invented before GPS. So I'm at Kutaisi, and I want to get all the way down. Where does I want to go again? I want to be at map square Mike Lima 09. So if I zoom down here, Mike Lima 09. I want to get to here. So what I want to do is I want to grab the ruler and click on Kutaisi and then click over here. Actually, I probably want to get myself somewhere about here. So I want to fly a heading of 126 degrees, and I want to travel 150 kilometers from Kutaisi. So I can do this using RSBN, and I will demonstrate how. But first, I'll start up the aircraft. I won't go into too much detail in the startup. I've already done a video on that, so I'll just try and be as quick as I can in getting the aircraft up and running. And with this being the good old MiG-21, that's pretty quick, as you will see in a moment. I'm not going to bother talking to ATC, because we don't care what they think. For the purposes of today's tutorial, we're not going to talk to them too much. Ah, what happened? I didn't get engine light. Let's try that again. There we go. Engine start. Now, the reason that we want to travel to grid square Mike Lima 09 is that I've actually set up some targets there, and I'll have a go at dropping these cluster bombs on them. I'm carrying two BL-755s and two RBK-250s. Now, I don't really have that much experience with dropping clusters, so that's why this is not actually a tutorial video about cluster bombs, because I'm probably going to do it wrong, or I won't be very good at it. Let's see. We'll see how I get on. I'll try my best. So anyway, shouldn't take too much longer for engine start. The procedure for dropping clusters, by the way, is almost exactly the same as the procedure for dropping bombs, and you can refer back to my tutorial on dropping bombs for that one. Okay, so startup is complete. Let's just flick some more switches, get all of our systems powered up. And I'll do some of my initial setup for the weapons just now as well. So I'm going to power the pylons but not power launch, power the gun and the sight. I'm going to turn on my nav lights. And put the radar into standby. I'm going to set up my arc for Kutaisi just in case I end up needing that, but that's quite unlikely. You can be quiet. Power up the gun sight. There we go. Now, gun sight we're going to want in launch, bombardment, 10 meter target size, and that should kind of do it for that. And yeah, bombs, pylons 1 and 2 first, ground mode, neutral. That should do just fine. And down here, aileron boosters, don't forget that, that's a new thing. Taxi lights on, flaps set, switch to RSBN, and align the compass like so. And now what we're going to do the first part of our setup for navigation. So here on the HSI, otherwise known as the NPP in Russian aircraft, we've got this knob which is for the course select. Now if I move this around, what will eventually happen is the deviation needle here should eventually move, although actually it's claiming I'm not picking up the station yet. It might be I won't actually get the station until I'm airborne. So we're going to fly a course of 128 degrees, so I'm just going to move that to there. I now have that selected. So this line here is saying that I'm deviated right. So in effect what I would want to do is I'd want to fly a course right of 128 degrees until this line became centered, and then I would turn back onto 128 degrees. And that would mean that I was flying exactly on a line from Kutaisi to my target area at 128 degrees. Now by doing this we can be pretty sure that we're going to arrive exactly where we want to, because if I maintain this course and I maintain the line in the middle and I wait until my distance counter reaches 150 kilometers, then everything will just work. I actually just realised why the pointer's not moving, by the way. I've not tuned my RSBN. We want station 13 for... there we go. We want station 13 for Kutaisi. So this is actually going to spin around and show us the direction to the station. Now the straight pointer is towards the station and the round pointer is away from the station. We're going to want to fly course 128 away. So we're going to want to fly to the right of that circle pointer until this line comes into the middle, and then we'll fly towards the circle pointer. I will now turn off the ID, the Morse ID, because that's just going to become annoying. Okay, it's a cold day, so we're going to have pitot heaters, and because we're going to do a bombing run, I'm going to set dangerous altitude to 300 meters, because actually with these weapons I'm going to be doing quite a steep kind of dive bomb, so we don't want to smack into the ground. So let's get a moving. Throttle up a little bit, and we're going to taxi to the active. There's a little bit of a crosswind today, but runway 07 or 08 as the game calls it should be just fine. I'm pretty sure in the real world at Kutaisi the runway is now designated 08, but that's magnetic variation for you. I guess back in the lock-on days when they designed these airfields it was still 07. Sorry, 08. Okay, off we go. So this should be kind of interesting, because, you know, back in the bad old days, in the MiG-21 you either had to rely on your radio navigation systems, which comprise of the RSBN and the ARC, or you would have to use a ground station to direct you. And I think actually it was also quite common for the MiG-21 aircraft to be guided by ground stations. So someone would be watching you on a radar and they tell you where to fly, but today we're going to do it solo. Also note that I'm actually pretty much bang on maximum takeoff weight, so this could be quite an interesting takeoff, especially with the crosswind. I've got full fuel load, I've got an external fuel tank, I'm carrying 2 of the really big cluster bombs and 2 of the slightly smaller ones. Just look at it. I'm also carrying my my flare dispensers as well, because for the first time in one of my videos, the targets I'm going to be attacking will actually be firing back, so just prepare yourselves for that. I might only get to demonstrate radio navigation away from a radio station. I might not get the chance to show you the voyage back if this all goes terribly wrong. But you know me, I don't edit my videos, so if I screw up, you will get to see me screw up. And I'm sure that'll be a good laugh for everyone involved. Okie dokie. So, approaching runway 07. Just going to have a last look over all of my equipment. It looks pretty good, apart from the fact I've not tuned my radio, but we're not doing that today. It's going to pop on takeoff lights. And the only thing remaining is to turn on the nose wheel braking, but I'll do that after I've made my turn. Okay, get it nice on the centre line. And there we go, stationary. Okay, so nose wheel braking on, flaps are set. Okay, everything looks pretty good. So, on the brakes, 80%. Engine is stabilised, full power, off with the brakes. Okie dokie, let's see how this overweight bird flies today. I think I'm going to need afterburner for my climb out pretty much the whole way. Let's see what it does. Okay, I'm going to rotate about 350 kilometers an hour. Rotate. We are airborne, positive rate. Going to go gear up. Oh, that crosswind is rolling me a little bit. Okay, gear is up. Secure the lever, and we're going to go flaps up now that we're passing 200 meters. Oh, there we go, that's one of the markers. Right, that's that all set. Let's fold away the takeoff lights, and we are good to proceed. So, going to make our climb at best climb speed, which is 600 kilometers per hour, and I'm now going to make my right turn towards that course that we set for ourselves. So I'm going to be aiming, as I said before, just right of where I've set my course. You can see that the circular needle is deviated quite a bit. So by almost the same amount, maybe not quite the same amount, but by something approximating that, we want to steer right of our course needle. And that should bring us in line with the correct radial. And I'm going to pitch to maintain speed of 600 kilometers an hour. I don't mind if I burn off quite a bit of fuel because I'm carrying that centerline tank and full internal load. And we are very heavy right now, so the lighter I make the aircraft, the better, really. Oh, there we go, yeah. Can nose down a little bit now. And I'm going to bring it just a little bit further right because you can already see that my round pointer is already starting to converge with the course. Okay, and I'm going to roll it out level here and continue my climb at best climb speed. I want to get myself up to about 5,000 meters. That's me just passing 4. And then I will stabilise it there and we'll pop it into a nice little cruise. Going to look to cruise at about 600 kilometers an hour, which is a good cruising speed for this aircraft. That's us just coming up. Going to kill the afterburners. Oh, I've actually blown right past that. That's me trying to be careful and not put too much negative G on the aircraft. Okay, I'm going to pop it on the autopilot, and I'm going to set throttle about net 5% N1. That should achieve about 600 kilometers an hour. Okie dokie. So we're now watching the NPP. We're watching this deviation needle. We want to see it moving towards the centre. You can already see that the away station marker is starting to converge with the selected course pointer. So this deviation needle should start to move very soon now. There we go. That's it. That's it. We're just a few degrees off now. So I'll let that get quite close to the centre, and then I'll start to turn left to converge with the course needle. And you already see that we are just passing 33 kilometres. We want that to read 150 once we reach our target area on this selected course. Okay, pop off the autopilot and begin my turn. This is just approaching pretty much the correct course. Oh, I've actually blown past it a little bit, so I'm going to deviate just very slightly left of that now. Oops. There we go. And that should eventually bring us back in. We're pretty bang on though, we're not doing too bad. We don't have to be exactly on. This is going to get us in the target area accurate to probably a couple of kilometres, which is good enough for us to visually identify the target area, I think. Actually, I maybe just bang on the course needle there. Anyway, that's close enough. That's more than close enough. As we get further out, I can adjust it very slightly. Ah, yeah, actually, I can see it drifting a little bit. That's the thing. If you are off, as time goes by, it's just going to get worse. So I'm going to see if I can correct that. I'm just going to make a very slight adjustment. Okay, there we go. I'll pop it on autopilot there, and we should see it drift towards the middle again. So, anyway, let's get the aircraft set up. I'm going to turn off my navigation lights. I've already got these switches set. I'm going to pop the cover for my countermeasures. I'm going to make sure that they're working. That looks good. There we go. I might need those because I think there's Nigla down there. Okie dokie. Fuel state, we're sitting at about 3,000 litres, which is good. That'll do us just fine. 95% N1. And just passing 60 kilometres out. And we're just about bang on that course. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, that's almost dead on. See, for such a kind of antiquated system, it's actually pretty accurate. You can achieve quite incredible feats of navigation using just this system. So as long as you tune your RSBN correctly, set the correct course, take note of the distance you need to achieve, you will arrive where you're supposed to be. It's quite a marvel, I tell you. So, just thinking if there's anything else I need to do. I think I'll just finish fencing the aircraft in. So at this stage I'm going to enable the launch switch. I'm going to enable tactical launch so that our cluster bombs will actually be armed, which is pretty good. And I'm going to check my weapon selector position. So I've got ground, neutral, pylons 1 and 2 for bombing. I've got launch, bombing, automatic, target size 10. And I'm going to switch my radar into beam mode. And we're still a little bit far. I won't turn it on just yet. I'll save the vodka. Save the aviation vodka. You can see actually that my pipper is a little bit off. That's the crosswind that's doing that. But that's okay. I could lock it, but we'll leave it floating just now. I think for dive bombing, I don't know. There are different schools of thought, but I quite like to have the pipper free floating for dive bombing. There are people who say that you should really have it fixed. But what do they know? Actually, with cluster bombs, I guess it doesn't matter too much because as long as they're going off at a decent height, they are going to spread. So we are at 85 kilometers. I'm just going to pull up the map just now, and if we have a little peek, let's see roughly where we think we are. So if I click Kutaisi, I choose heading 128, and I roll it back to 85. There. We should be about here right now. So we're just over halfway, I would say. Yeah, well, obviously we're over halfway, considering we want to fly to 150 kilometers. But you get the idea. And fuel state, we're about 2,900 litres, so we're doing pretty good on fuel as well. More than enough to carry out this attack and get back. And the centerline tank is empty now, but I'm going to hold on to it. It's just as well I've got the pitot heat turned on because I think the temperature up here will be pretty low today. It is a chilly winter's day after all. We're getting a little bit of wobble on the station needle now. We are getting further out, and of course there are some mountains down there which could be interfering with the signal, but that's okay. We know that we're going to be roughly on target. I'm going to adjust course left very slightly. There we go. That should be enough. Just to make sure that we're going to end up right where we expect to. my switches seem to be in the right places. Let's pop on some console backlighting. And the dashboard lights. They look pretty cool in this aircraft. Okay. Now, once we get into the target area, I'll probably descend... Actually, maybe I won't, because it's quite hilly around here, so we probably want to retain this altitude, actually. Yeah, actually, I'll stay at 5,000, because I don't know what our height above the terrain is here. It is much hillier than over by Kutaisi. So, 120 kilometers, getting pretty close now. I might want to keep an eye out for the target area. So our target today, by the way, is an insurgent camp. It's a FARP with a helicopter and some vehicles. And I think I put some chappies with an Igla down there, so I might be in for a nasty surprise. We should be pretty close. There we go, 125 kilometers, not far to go. We should see them soon. All this bloody cloud. Trust me to... Well, what I did was I grabbed the real life METAR, which is the kind of meteorological conditions for an aerodrome, for Kutaisi, and applied them. And that means that it's cold, a little bit windy, and slightly cloudy. Just like real Georgia. I'm not seeing this target area. I'm just going to cheat a little bit. It should be around here somewhere. Ah yes, I see it. I see it. It's right over here somewhere. Okay, so actually we got pretty close. That's us. We're 140 kilometers, and that's the target right there. Okay, so autopilot off. Let's adjust our course. Going to reduce throttle a bit. I want to maintain below 600 kilometers an hour in my dive. And let's go and teach these naughty insurgents a lesson. Oh, this cloud is just in the wrong place. Why did I think this was a good idea? Oh, there we go. Right, we've got a little hole in it. That's fine. So, I'm going to fly just off to the right a little bit. I'm going to keep the target visible on my left hand side, and I'm going to roll in and attack it once I get a little bit closer. Let's see if I can do this. Right, I'm going to go radar on, and yeah, I've not had much practice with the cluster bombs, so please excuse me if I mess this up terribly. Okay, that should be almost the right position now, so I'm going to throttle back to 70%. Actually 65 perhaps. Maintain the aircraft in positive G. Roll it over. Get the pipper on the target. There we go. And let's wait. There. And bombs away. Full power. 4G pull out. Drop some flares. Oh, they're definitely firing at me. Let's get the hell out of here. Hopefully that did some good. I didn't see if that actually did anything. Was that anywhere near the target? I don't know. Okay, right, so pylons 3 and 4, and let's do that again. Let's keep it on the burner so I can maneuver hard. I'm just going to do an immediate re-attack because they know I'm here now, so they're going to be firing on me. So I don't really want to give them time to, you know, do too much damage. Okay, throttling back again. Try and keep it under positive G. Oh, there we go. That's it. That's it. Let's get it on target. Okay, cluster bombs away. Throttle back up. Actually, it doesn't matter how many G's I pull in the pull-up now. Oh, okay. I saw a flash. I don't know if I actually hit anything. And that, my friends, is that. Munitions are away. Radar can go into standby. Launch switch can go off. Let's get some of that height back. Oh, actually, I've got all of that height back. Let's just level out here. Nope, 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 nope. Don't flare out. Don't flare out. Oh, I just flared it out. There you go. That is just how finicky the fuel system is in this aircraft. Okay, so throttle to idle. Air start switch on. Let's get this relit. I can't believe I did that. Please relight. Airspeed's not too bad. Let's just try and maintain it. I'll nose down a little bit. Come on, come on, come on. What if I hit the starter? No. Oh, come on. This normally works. There we go, engine start. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, there you go, this was a bit more exciting than I expected. There we go, engine started, air start switch off, let's throttle back up. Just going to go mill power for now. There we go, and we want to fly back towards Kutaisi. So, we want to reverse our previous course. Previous course was 128, so how about we fly 308? So I'm just going to pop the aircraft onto the autopilot just now. Let's turn our desired course to 308. Okay, so now all we should have to do, all being well, is turn that course. So my little needle is telling me that I should deviate to the left. So I'm going to do exactly that. And yeah, so I'm trying to think. Left, we want to fly left of the selected course indicator. I'm getting all confused here. This in-air relight just spooked me a little. So we're going to want to deviate round to the left. We're looking for a course. Let's fly a course of about 290 and wait for the deviate. Oh wait, actually it's now telling me that I'm deviating to the right. Okay, that's fine. So that being the case, I'm actually just going to maintain this course here, which is 320. Okay, going to set the autopilot there. Oh, let's turn off the afterburner before I overspeed the aircraft. There we go. We'll set 95% N1 again. Okay, let's turn that tactical release switch off again. Let's make our flare pod safe. Let's turn on our navigation lights. Okay, and we're just watching for this course deviation indicator moving into the center of the display, which it's actually just starting to do now. So that's pretty good. We're approaching the correct radial. So that actually went surprisingly well. Let's see if I can get all the way back to base. Fly a complete mission without being shot down. Wouldn't that be pleasant? And fuel state, we're sitting at about 2,200 litres, which is just fine. At this burn rate, we'll get all the way home, no problem. Actually, the aircraft's flying a lot faster now that I don't have that extra weight on board. 130 kilometres. Now, if I really wanted to go gung-ho on those guys, I could have attacked them with cannons, but considering that they had 23mm high explosive cannon rounds, I didn't really feel like the risk. If I had to get close enough to use my cannon, I would have almost certainly taken a hit. And I don't feel like that today. I'd rather get the airframe back in one piece. Oh, I can turn off my beam mode now, I don't need that. And yeah, it's all looking good. I will actually tune ATC this time, so stud 10 for Kutaisi. And I think that should just about do it. Don't need any other equipment set up. And course deviation needle is slowly moving. Still 95% N1. We're cruising along at almost 900 kilometers an hour, which is good. So we showed them what for. I didn't actually see that my weapons did any damage though, so I probably wasn't very accurate, but you know, I got them off and I didn't get hit. I must have at least given them a fright. Okay, course needle is getting closer and closer. So by reversing the original course that I selected, you know, by adding 180 degrees, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I fly back the exact same route that I flew out. Now in an actual combat mission that could be quite important because, you know, maybe if you just take the most direct route, maybe you cross some borders that you're not supposed to. You know, maybe there are enemy units that you weren't aware of and you overfly them. You know, there are all kinds of reasons. So, although obviously in some cases, if you know that you were detected by the enemy, you of course wouldn't want to take the same route back. But in many cases, you will. So that's what I'm doing. By following this procedure, I'm effectively taking the exact same route back that I took in the first place. Oh, and there we go. Just about on target. There. Perfect. And the thing is, because we're flying towards the station, these course needles on the KPP actually work correctly. Now you'll have noticed when I was flying out, it was always sitting at far left or far right. When you're actually flying towards the station, you can get them to line up, which is nice. A little confirmation that you're doing it right. So this needle is centered, this needle is centered, and my station needle is just kind of bouncing around a little bit, but that's local interference. And my distance counter is counting down. Only 88 kilometers to go. And fuel state, pretty much bang on 2,000 litres, so I've actually got tons of fuel left. And they say the MiG-21 only has short legs. Well, yes, it does, but for this particular mission, more than enough fuel. And we are cruising along at a pretty happy pace. The difference it makes not having all that weight on the wings. I'm just going to turn off my pipper now because I don't need that. I like to leave the fixed net on though, it works as a pretty good reference point. Okay, that's the airfield dead ahead. 47 kilometers out. I'm just going to call inbound at this point. I'm a bit far out, but anyway.
Kutasi, infield, 1-1, inbound. Infield 1-1, Kutasi, fly heading 290-430, QFE 746.07, runway 08 to pattern altitude.
Okay, so let's change our course as he recommends, and also at this stage I'm going to throttle back because I want to lose speed and lose altitude. Okay, there we go, 290. Pop the autopilot back on. Yeah, 65% N1, let's just let the speed bleed off. And we're going to pop the aircraft navigational systems into landing mode. And the desired course, we're now going to align that with the runway, which is 080 says the game, but I'm not so sure. Oh, and we should yeah, there we go, that's us. We're losing speed. We should also descend. So I'll just let the aircraft settle into a gentle descent as well. Next I'm going to do an idle descent. There we go. That's better. Okay. Welcome home. Okay, just passing 2,000 meters. Going to continue our descent all the way down to pattern altitude, which is about 600 meters, and then we'll make our turn. And distance to go 10 kilometers. There we go, we're nice and close. And thank you very much, sir.
Kutasi, infield, 1-1, request landing.
Okay, just about to pass 1,000 meters. Okay, I'm going to go first stage of flap. I'm going to pop on a bit of throttle now. There we go, there's a bit of ballooning. Continued descent 600 meters. That's it, we'll just let it level off about there. That's nice. Oh, a bit more throttle. The aircraft doesn't like flying low and slow. Okay, 9 kilometers out, I'm going to start my turn onto final. So I might need to make this quite a tight turn. Yeah. This is not the usual method for landing a MiG-21. You generally want to have it lined up nicely, well ahead of time. But anyway, I think we'll make it. Okay, I'm going to drop the throttle, going to drop the gear. Going to go full flap. Landing lights are on. Gear lever is neutral. Okay, flying the approach about 400 kph, that's about right. And I'm going to manage my speed with pitch, and I'm going to manage sync rate with throttle. Which probably isn't actually the, the proper way to do it in the MiG-21. Okay. 3 green, full flap, landing lights are on, approach is stable, runway's clear, speed is just about right, and we have permission. So we'll fly it all the way down pretty much on this throttle setting. Going to keep this crosswind in mind. You don't really want to crab the 21, so I probably need to... Oh, I don't really know what the best way to do it actually is with the 21. Oh dear. Okay, let's level her out. Arrest that descent. Keep the power in, let it touch down gently. Okay, throttle to idle. Brake shoot out. And checked. And just let her slow down. Phew. Okay, that wasn't too bad. My only concern is I don't know if this drag chute will be affected by the crosswind. Oh, actually, maybe not too much. Right, we'll drop that. And apply some brakes. And we're stopped. Turn off the nose wheel braking, throttle her back up a bit, and let's get the aircraft turned. Okay, exiting at Charlie. And landing lights off. Woohoo! We made it! Okay, that wasn't too bad. That was a pretty good landing, actually, if I do say so myself. Right, I'm going to taxi back to the north ramp and shut down. End of a successful mission. Okay, and we can turn the landing system off. Don't need that anymore. And turn the fixed net off as well. Don't need that. Turn off these lights just now. It's perfectly bright outside, no need for that. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I always kind of struggle at parking neatly in the 21. Well, let's have a go at it. Dot Chuckles is much better at this than I am. Anyway, that's good enough actually. That meets my standards. Okay, radar off. Let's raise the flaps, close that little cap, and just release that. Yep, aircraft looks good. Taxi lights can go off. Right, all the non-essential systems can go off now. So, pitot heaters off. We can turn off the pylon power, sight, the gun, the IFF. Oops. Let's turn off everything actually. Shut down all of our usual systems. Navigation lights off. Let's turn off the gyros. Turn off the fuel pumps. Did I leave anything else turned on? Don't think so. Don't think so. We can turn off the aileron boosters. Fire extinguishing system. The starter. That's all good. Right, let's pull the throttle back to shutdown. Open the canopy. If I can remember how to. There we go. Okay, and turn off the last of the systems. And the aircraft is secure. Well, that was fairly successful. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.